Welcome to the Chaos Engine podcast. If this is your first time joining us, my name's Chris. I do a lot around here. I run most of the games. I edit this podcast. What else do I do? I created some music for it as well. That's pretty cool. But hey, I'm here to thank our Patreon folks real quick before we hop into this interview with the legendary Skid Maher. So let's go over to our Patreon and thank Tyler, Drowrin, Miles, Randy, Yam, Colby, Thomas, Randy G, Laszlo, Hovo, H-O-V-O, Jeremy, Ben, Garth, Tyler, Nelson, and newcomer, Clorpdonk. Thank you guys for your continued support over there on the Patreon. And if you want to join, check out the show notes. It's $3 a month. That's all we charge. If you've never listened to us before, well, I think you're in for a treat if you're coming from the Glass Cannon Network kind of plethora of shows. We have a similar vibe of friends around the table. In fact, that's our main goal, is to make you feel like you're at a table with friends. We joke around, we bant a lot. I usually save it to the end of the episode so you get a full episode, and then if you want to listen to us talk about random stuff, it's at the end of the episode. I think it kind of helps flow a little bit better and just get to the meat and potatoes of the episode, and then if you want to laugh with us and whatnot, it's at the end for extra sakes. So we primarily do Delta Green. We have 3 seasons of Delta Green. We are currently running a Traveler campaign as well. And we've taken a couple excursions into other systems. We have our Orbital Decay show, which is the mothership system that we ran with the awesome folks at Stories and Lies. Seriously, if you are not listening to Stories and Lies, pause what you're doing right now. Go listen to them. They're amazing. Subscribe, do everything you can. Give them money. They are fantastic. We also have the Down Darker Trails Call of Cthulhu system that we're running, a little show called Haunted Trails. We've released 4 episodes, and it sounds like we're going to be recording some more because the internet is demanding it. By the internet, I mean our Discord. They're saying they want more, so we're going to give that to them. And we're coming up, we're going to be doing 13th Age 2nd Edition, a little 4-episode jaunt to check out the new rule set, and also give a little bit of time for one of our player characters who's recovering from surgery. We wanted to let her just have a little bit more of a buffer, make sure she's good to go when she comes back. So, yeah, that's pretty much us. We try to be laid back. We try to have fun. We try to be serious. It's a cool blend of, but yeah, that's us. We started playing together with Age of Ashes in Pathfinder 2nd Edition when it first came out. And I basically took all my favorite players and I put them at a table and hoped they liked each other. And they did. And so we turned that into this podcast here you're about to listen to. So I hope you guys enjoy this interview with Skid Maher. And I hope that if you like it, you'll be willing to check out our other stuff. And I feel like I've talked enough and you probably skipped past this. But if you haven't, here's Skid Maher. Welcome, everybody, to a very special episode of the Chaos Engine podcast. Tyler and I are here.
Hello.
With probably... I would say the heart, the soul of the Glass Cannon Network. I would say you're probably my favorite person on the network. I don't know about Tyler's, but...
I wasn't going to say it first, but yeah.
Great.
We're here with Skid Maher. Thank you for coming on and sitting down with us and talking. It's very appreciative. So
Thank you, guys. I appreciate the invite.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was really surprised you accepted, but
yes.
Yeah, thanks.
No. Any chance to blab about myself and my interests, I'll take it.
That's great. That's what we're here for. So let's just start there. If for some reason people don't know who you are, you want to introduce yourself to the audience?
I'm Skid Maher. I'm a founding member of the Glass Cannon podcast network. We do actual play and tabletop gaming material on YouTube and wherever podcasts can be found. We're sort of friends with Matthew Lillard, and that's pretty much it.
He's a very lovely person. Like, I've met him at cons, and he's a really genuinely nice person.
He is one of the like best, nicest people I've ever spent time with. Like, he's great, and it's funny too. I saw him at Gen Con one time. He ambushed me at Gen Con, and he like came up and he like hugged me from behind. I didn't see him coming. And you've been near him. He is an enormous man. He's huge.
Yeah.
And he's like, you son of a bitch. He like grabs like, what the fuck? I was so fucking scared. And I turned like, it's just Matt Lillard. It was so scary. But he is just a great guy. So Yeah, lucky to
That's good.
be able to hang out with him sometimes.
I just met him at cons. That's the only time I've really run into him. Like,
yeah.
There's a local horror convention that he would come to.
Oh, cool.
We'd see him there.
Well, he's also, I mean, he's really approachable too. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like he's very,
absolutely.
Actually, it was funny too. It was a different Gen Con, but we were doing our gauntlets. We were like running our little, our little combats, and Lillard came by and he was, I was running mine and he was talking to Troy and Joe, and somebody came by and he was just like, can I get a picture of you guys? I was just like, yeah, sure. And it was like, he didn't realize who Matt Lillard was, and he was just like handing him the camera. Was like, "Could you take this picture?" It's like, "Yeah, sure, okay." I'm laughing so hard. It was very funny. But he was like, "Yeah, sure, of course." It's great.
I've been listening to you guys for a long time. I think I've been to almost every Seattle event you guys have done. I missed out last time because I canceled plans on my wife for another party or plan, so I had to go camping with the family for the last Glass Cannon Live. But
I made it out. That was
you
fun.
did. My favorite memory with you guys was I think it was like one of the first time you guys came out to Washington. We went to Odin Brewing, and then we went over bowling the next door.
Oh yeah. Oh wow.
It was a while ago.
That was like 8 years ago. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
And I remember
that was like shortly after I started listening to Glass Cannon, because you told me about it.
Yeah.
And then you told me you were going to this event, and I was like, oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah, we just showed I remember Joe bowled for my buddy and got like a spare, or he gutter balled it, and then picked up the spare, so it was like classic Joe feeling. It's like, yeah, of course he did. Like,
that was great. Now you know how we feel, constantly picking up.
But that was cool.
It comes across in the recording.
It's very true. So,
that was a really good time. That was a very fun night. I remember that night very well.
Yeah, I was bummed I didn't get to go back for karaoke, but I just remember, like talking a little bit with you. I talked with Grant a lot. He was outside smoking quite a bit, and then just everybody else just hanging. I don't think Matthew was there, but the four of you guys were going. So
yeah, I think Matthew was not there, but yeah, that was a very good time. I remember that very well.
Yeah. So what got you into tabletop gaming? I know you've talked about it on other shows, but just again for people who haven't listened, like what was your introduction to this world?
I think it was 1982 and 81 or 82, and my uncle Sinclair, for my birthday, gave me the Moldvay Red Box Basic D&D set, and I had never heard of it. I was in third grade. I didn't know what it was, and honestly, I don't even know what possessed him. I don't know why he did this. But,
was it brand new, or was it just like, I don't want this anymore, let's give it to Skid?
No, it was he bought it. It was he bought it for me, but I guess because I think it had just started its first big wave of early popularity like that summer. And so I guess he had heard of it somewhere. So, but he bought it for me, and I was just like, what is this? And I just remember diving into it and just really falling in love with the whole idea. It just opened brand new worlds for me. And it was nice too. And somehow I don't know what the sequence of events was, but a lot of my friends ended up getting into it at the same time. And so we would, we were the nerds, obviously, and so we had a tendency to get bullied or pushed around at like recess. So I remember one of our teachers would let us like stay in the school and play D&D like in the school hallways at recess. And so we would do that. And it was great. That was my first ever game, was like playing in the school hallways at recess. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, I pretty much just kept playing. And then I took a break. I kind of stopped playing in college for about 8 or 9 years. And then I was, as an actor, so I was doing a stage production of a show in Denver. And I was talking to some of the guys backstage, and it turns out a bunch of us had grown up playing Dungeons and Dragons, including Dell, who I've mentioned on the show quite a bit. Mm-hmm. And so we were just like, well, we should start a game. It's like, yeah. So that was like 98. And we started a new campaign set in the Kryn, a Dragonlance campaign.
Okay.
And that started me playing again. And I basically have been playing nonstop ever since then.
Nice. Oh. I started in college. That was like my first introduction.
How did you start? Who introduced it to you?
My friend Gus. Shout out to Gus at Central City Comics in Ellensburg. He started running. He was running 4E. So Dungeons and Dragons 4th edition was my introduction into gaming.
Oh, wow.
And,
so it's like 07 or?
Yeah, it was about that.
Okay.
And it took me a long time to deprogram my brain from how that game worked, because I had no idea about the previous editions of Dungeons and Dragons. I'm like, oh, well, every edition is like this. They have powers and short rests. Like, this is just like a video common game. D&D stuff. And it wasn't until I used to run games for my other friend's comic shop doing Free RPG Day, and someone wanted to run Lamentations of the Flame Princess. I'm like, yeah, I'll run it, no problem. I know D&D. It's based off 2nd edition. It can't be that much different.
Oh.
And I learned how different it was that day. To the really shittiness. Everyone was cool about it. I'll give the players that, but I had to apologize afterwards. I'm like, yeah, I butchered every aspect of this, so I'm glad we still had fun, but my bad.
It is funny. It's just like, oh, we need someone to give a lecture in Italian. It's just like, well, I speak Portuguese. I'll give the lecture.
It's close enough.
Yeah. It was, but yeah, same thing. Like, as soon as I started playing 4th edition, I moved back from college over to where I live now, and I just got all my friends. I'm like, hey, I need to run this. I want to keep doing this, so if no one else knows how to do this, I'll teach you all. And it just spiraled. And now I run, I have 8 different home games with 8 different systems.
Oh, that's great.
I love it.
That's great.
Well, Chris, you're actually the one that got me into it.
Uh-huh.
Like, I played 2 games of Gamma World in college, because a buddy of mine...
Gamma World?
Yeah.
Wow.
That was fun. It was a little rough because I had no idea what I was doing, and it was like I played when I was back home on vacation one night, and then another one months later.
Mm.
But then a couple years after college, this is when Chris, you and I were doing Comics Brew, a different podcast together.
Yes.
We started doing a small section we called Comics Brew Plays, where we did our own actual play podcast, and that was the 6-gun game.
Yes. Based off Savage Worlds rules.
So that was my first real experience. And then pretty much ever since with you.
Yeah, you became quickly one of my favorite players, and I was like, any game I run, if Tyler's down to play, he will be in the game. There's always a spot reserved for Tyler at my table.
Awesome.
And that's kind of how
it works out.
So.
Awesome.
Because nobody else I know wants to play.
That's how it goes. And I have the issue where I just want to run every system I find, and I don't ever stop. So, but that led us to good things. Like, that's how we discovered Delta Green.
Oh, yeah.
And all that kind of stuff. So, which I wanted to ask you kind of a question here, a couple questions about Delta Green, Skid, since I know you obviously have had some great characters over there on Getting the Trunk.
Yeah. Jordy Arsenault.
Oh, man. Jordy is by far, just... Between Jordy and then the evolution of Neil through Impossible Landscapes was so cool to watch, and it was great to have a counterbalance to Roger Cumstone's just ridiculous nature.
Man, I have to say, I really enjoyed just listening to that show while I was on it, because because I think for me, and I don't have a lot to do with this, so I don't feel egotistical saying this. I think that was a truly great show for my tastes, because of the way that we were able to balance the real sort of terrifying psychological drama that is at the heart of Delta Green, and do it with a character like Roger Cumstone in tow. I mean, it's hard for me to think of another, and it's my favorite kind of story that kind of has those juxtapositional sort of elements in it. And it's hard for me to think of another example other than, the Evil Dead, maybe a little bit, but just that's not an easy balance to strike. And I think really mostly Joe and Troy and Sydney and France, I think they really managed to hit it.
It really was It was something else to listen to.
It really was. Yeah.
I don't remember which season it was, but something that made me laugh harder than anything was Roger and Geordi were talking to somebody, and Roger just says the most off the wall, insane shit, and then Geordi just says, "Don't worry about him. He's from another show."
That's right. The funniest thing for me, I keep thinking about when we were like, we were posing as feds, and we went into a police station on the Upper West Side, and Comstone is running around threatening to send everyone's wives to Guantanamo.
That's right. Jesus Christ.
It was like such a weird, specific threat. Like, it was so. I think about that often. That's very funny.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. Like Delta Green, I always feel like they always degrade to that level at one point. Like, there's always that point where it jumps the shark and it's off the rails.
Yeah,
and like, cause you just as a handler, I never know what they're gonna do. I'm like, all right, yeah, that's the world we live in now. Like, yep, absolutely, let's go with it.
Just
like,
roll with it.
What are some of your favorite aspects or things about Delta Green now that you've had a couple sessions or campaigns under your belt?
I think one of the things that makes Delta Green really special is the lore. I'm a huge, I was a huge X-Files fan, and I was a big fan. There was a Palladium game that came out in the mid '80s called later '80s called the Beyond the Supernatural, which sort of is a midway point between something like Delta Green and Ghostbusters.
Oh, cool.
And it's but it was similar kind of world building to Delta Green, but I've always been a fan of that kind of idea where there's this hidden layer operating like just beneath the veneer of the real world. And I think that sort of the history of the Delta Green world and the way that the pieces sort of interact with each other is just very well thought out and makes really very dramatically satisfying. And it's just, I think it's just good world building, just really good world building. And yeah, I love the conspiracy stuff and everything is just very cool. So there's that. And then for me, I think we have so few opportunities to role play in the real world. Like the modern America or wherever, just like the modern Earth. I almost never get to do it. Like Delta Green is one of my few chances to do it. And I just think it's so fun to do. It's so fun to engage in the real world in that way. It's just like really super liberating and fun. It can be incredibly funny. So there's that. And then also I think Delta Green's mechanical focus it borrows heavily from something like, Call of Cthulhu on the toll that dealing with these supernatural forces takes on the participant's psyche.
Oh, and it's just like there's no winning.
Yeah,
inevitably you lose.
Yeah, honestly, and I want to.
What toll does that take on you?
Yeah, that too, and that actually makes me think of another Palladium game. Actually, there's a game called Mechanoids that was an earlier Palladium game, and I think it was adapted from like another source, a comic or something. But the premise was that the Earth had been invaded by this sort of robotic alien enemy. And I think humans had been fled to the moon or something. And so you're trying to stage a resistance. But the central concept of the game was that humanity is doomed. Like, you are going to lose eventually. And that was the first game, or really story, like fantasy story, that I had come across that had that point of view. And it stuck with me. And Delta Green, it's the same thing. And I really love that idea of a doomed effort. But there's there can be real courage and, valiant efforts against this inevitable darkness. I think I love stories like that. And Delta Green is a great playground for those.
I mean, that's fantastic. I don't know. It's just that weird darkness behind it. Like, inevitably you lose, just kind of, I don't know. I love it. But speaking of that, I was curious, how does that actually influence how you make characters in Delta Green? Like, what kind of inspiration do you have going in? Or do you have, like, a core of an idea? Or do you roll some stats and kind of build around that? Or
it really depends. Like, so I get my ideas usually from, I'll be watching TV or like reading a book or something, and I'll come across a character or a kind of character, and there'll be something about that character that I'll find intriguing, and that'll sort of plant a seed. And the cool thing about Delta Green is that it gives me the ability to, use actual human beings in a similar environment to the one that they actually live. So, like, I had a character called Old Dad Morton on one of the seasons, and I based him on one of my college professors. That actually, I had the same professor as my uncle who gave me my original Dungeons and Dragons rule set.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he had gone to the same community college 15 years before I did, and we ended up having the same professor. So when we did that season, I told him, I was just like, I did a character based on our professor, and he was just like, it's very funny. And then for Neil, I think it was my girlfriend, like, she had an idea that it's just like, you should just make someone like Neil Breen, like the filmmaker. Who is,
you can definitely see that in there.
Yeah. So I was just like, okay, so Neil Breen is this guy who I think he was an architect, like, in his former life, and very successful, and he sort of abandoned.
I know he was something.
I'm pretty sure he was an architect, and then he abandoned that life path and to become a legendarily terrible filmmaker. And so I wanted to Vegas resident, by the way.
There you go.
So, and I was like, well, that's cool. Like, I like the idea of someone having an established, difficult to get career and then changing it for something artistic, especially in the context of Impossible Landscapes, which has a lot to do with, like, the arts and everything. I was just like, that's cool.
Yeah.
So, but I want to think, it's like, well, maybe he's actually good at the second thing. It's like, yeah, I like that. And I always I love playing doctors, because it's just like, I wish I could be a doctor, but I'm not smart enough to be one. So I love being in games where I can pretend to be a doctor. That's great. That's the second next best thing. So I was just like, yeah, that's cool. It's like, it could be like a surgeon and like a filmmaker. It's just like these two halves of his life, his bifurcated life. And then that gives him an opportunity to be best friends with Steve Buscemi, which I also
of course. Yeah, absolutely.
Forgot about
that. So
just casually drop every now and then. You got to go talk to his friend Steve.
That's another thing I love, is I love taking real world celebrities and notable figures and forcing them into my game. It's like, what are they going to do? I just love that. I don't know. I just get such a thrill out of that. It's the best.
Yeah, I know the last Delta Green character I was going to make for when I got to play on the show, I had a really dark concept, and so I had to take it to Jake, who was running the game. I'm like, here's my pitch. And he's like, no, that doesn't work at all. I'm like, damn. All right, well, I'm going to save that.
Too dark.
I'm going to put that over here.
Too dark for Delta Green. Oh, boy.
Essentially, I wanted to make a character as close to no sanity as possible.
Okay.
And essentially, he was like an RA or like a nurse, and he would kill patients, and but that's how he relieved his stress, is he would tell these patients before he killed them of all the fucked up shit he's seen during Delta Green.
Oh, interesting.
And then he would, he'd be like an angel of death.
Right.
And then inject them.
So like terminal patients, or just like any patient?
Any patient.
So someone gets them for a vaccine, and you
maybe that's where it's a little too dark.
Yeah, essentially he's like a serial killer but was a nurse.
Wow.
And then would get called on Delta Green, but would have I had him down to 25 starting sanity.
Wow.
And I was like, all right, because I always find that's the thing I find interesting during Delta Green is the breaking point.
Yeah. And what happens
what are you gonna
to
do
you
when you hit that?
as a result?
Yeah. And I want to play a character. I've never really played a character that is that damaged, or like trying to understand that mindset of like, no, like what happens if this is how you view reality? Of like, I don't know what megalomania is. I don't think. Maybe I haven't. I don't know. But like just that kind of
Maybe I'm
concept
just
of
the
like,
best.
how do people? How does that manifest? That really interests me.
Yeah, I think conceiving of and playing like damaged people, I think can be very, very, very interesting.
Yeah. And I'm one of the very few players I know that I get stoked when bad things happen to my character. Like I'm like, yeah, man, let's kill it. Let's make this cool. Like, how do you want to do it? Like, because I'm not really attached. I haven't really got attached to a lot of characters I've made.
Yeah, I don't get attached anymore. You've taken that away from me.
I'm sorry.
I've died in nearly every Delta Green game we played.
That's how it goes. That's the point.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
That's just
exactly.
You're running the game.
It's going to happen eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying. Is there any aspects of Delta Green that you find difficult to like get into, or that when you first started reading it, it kind of was like, I don't know about that?
Yeah, I think some of the stuff, and I had trouble with this in our campaign, like some of the stuff hits a little too close for home, like stuff that, I'm dealing with my own family and everything. A lot of the hospitalization stuff that got pretty hard for me. So I guess it depends on like, where you are in your life, but I think there are definitely some things that can be really hard, because it gets like, the more real it gets, the better your game is going to be. That's sort of how it needs to be treated. And it's like, if it does like veer too close to something that is actually like causing you distress, it's like that can be a problem. So that, and then I guess like mechanically, I know that they had to sort of distance themselves from the Call of Cthulhu mechanics, but I think that the core Call of Cthulhu mechanics, like the percentile based stuff, I like a lot better than the adaptation of Delta Green. I think that's yeah.
We've done 4 sessions of Down Darker Trails, which is the Call of Cthulhu Western. And just like the scale, like just having hard and extreme successes just changes it so much.
It's way better.
Such a refreshing way. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That and having luck, that's a big one.
Yeah,
luck is huge too.
Yeah, definitely.
So, but nice. Yeah, I noticed on one of your Instagram posts recently, you mentioned that you got to play Mothership at the GCP retreat.
Really?
Yes.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Man, what did you think of it?
Oh, it was great. It was great. I so rarely get to just play games for fun anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe like twice in the last like 5 years. Like I played a game of first edition D&D with Eric Mona and Joe at GaryCon a couple months ago. That was a blast. We were all playing the wizards from D&D. We were playing like Big B and Merlin and Morgan Kanan and everything. Great. I mean, Mona is as you probably know, is an incredible game master. And that was
nice guy too.
Blast. And then Jim Zub was running a game of Mothership at sort of after hours at our retreat that we did in Vegas. And I had heard about the game, and it was just like, oh yeah, it sounds really cool and everything. And I was like, and I wasn't sure that like I was gonna want to play, because it was just like I've been running games all day, and it was just like I'm gonna want to do anything other than just like sit down and play another RPG. But I did, and I'm really, really glad I did. It was a great group. Jim did an incredible job, and that's another one where it's just like you're doomed. Like your group is doomed. Something horrible is going to happen to them. And the way that it played out, that's the question. How is it going to happen?
Right.
And
did you play a pre-written adventure, do you know, or did he run something totally homebrew?
I think it was something. I think it was something pre-written. I think it was.
Might have been another bug hunt or something.
It was something to do with blue something.
Okay.
I don't know if the name of it, but maybe he did write it. I don't know, but he did a great job. He knocked it out of the park, and we had a great time. And actually, one of the guys in our group is an artist, and he ended up sketching one of the moments. That we had. That's
so
probably
cool.
what you saw on Instagram.
Yeah. No, I think Mothership is probably my favorite system in the past year that I've discovered.
It's definitely really cool. I had a lot of fun in the game we played.
Yeah, I love the combat. I love how like just everybody goes at once and you just see what happens after the chaos.
Yeah.
And I love the panic dice. I love how it all just kind of builds up towards stuff. And I'm really excited to see what gets added on to that. And like what, because I know they're just releasing like a bounty hunter game or like module that they're coming out with. So
cool.
The just third party, everybody putting out like zines and just adventure modules for that is awesome to see. There's so many cool concepts. Like we ran one on the show that's based off of Die Hard.
Cool.
There's just so many cool
that was great
adventures that people have made for it. But yeah, I saw that. I had to ask how you enjoyed it. So, pivoting kind of sci-fi related. Obviously, you are on the Traveler show there. Hopefully, that will come back one day on Glass Cannon. We have started running Traveler on our podcast, so I kind of wanted to talk to you about that. I know you've played multiple iterations of Traveler, right? Or did you just kind of test the character creation in the older versions?
No. I had a campaign running back in, I guess we started in like 83. And yeah, I loved Traveler. Traveler was my first sci-fi RPG. It was one of the first big sci-fi RPGs. And yeah, I've always loved it. And that's another one where I've really appreciated the lore and the world building of it. Like I love the fiction. The fiction is fantastic.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I'm a been a huge Traveler fan since I was a little kid.
Yeah, it was very hard when I started getting into the Traveler for the podcast, figuring out what edition was which, and so
that's the tricky thing.
Like, So I'm just like, second edition Mongoose, cool. Like that's the newest. I guess we'll go with that because we'll just start there. We'll start somewhere. I've got the older editions I've read through. But I was like, we'll have a starting point. We'll go from there. And I've really enjoyed it so far. I think it's been a very cool system.
Yeah, it's been good. It's been.
I don't think I make them roll enough. I think that's a part of me as a GM coming from like Delta Green. I'm just like, you got high enough points, you get it. But it seems like
it works out great for me because my stats suck ass.
But I wanted to ask you, like, when you're making a character for Traveler, do you ever come in with like a concept, or do you just the life path is what's going to be? Or do you try to have a concept and tailor the life path to it? Or you just go full on, Jesus, take the wheel. What do we got here? Life path.
No, sometimes I will have, again, like the seed of an idea. And then I'll try to guide the character like in that direction. So it's like, well, I really wanted to be a Marine, so I'm going to try, and I want to be an officer, so I'm going to try to like get an education. It really is like similar mechanics to Life, the board game Life.
Right.
It's okay, I have to go to college. It's like turn left, like on the thing, whatever. So I will usually do that, but I think the great thing about a system like Traveler, and there's some other ones that we're sort of getting into now too, is that with the life path stuff is that it takes the pressure off me, because I will oftentimes I feel pressure to, when we're doing a character for a show, I was just like, well, I have to not only come up with a character that I'm excited about, but that the audience will resonate with. Like I have to hope. So I was just like, well, fuck. It was like, and I'm always trying to top myself, and it's like, you can't always
Pressure's
do that.
on, always.
Well, thank you, appreciate that. But it's hard. It can be really stressful. So the nice thing about the life path thing is just like I just love letting the dice work and then just running with whatever hand I've been dealt. That is just really liberating for me. Like I love doing that. So that's my sort of preferred method, is to just see who ends up being on the page after the end of that process.
Definitely. That's a big reason I want to run Twilight 2000 because it has the similar
Same thing.
mechanics.
Yeah, and we did that
Yeah.
when we did Twilight 2000. That was amazing. Like that was a really cool part of the game. Was doing that. Like I think the characters that we came up with in that game are some of my favorite that we've ever
absolutely
come up with.
That was a New Game Who Dis?
Yeah.
That one was really good.
Yeah, I want to run it, but I don't know. It's one of those things like with obviously current event going on, I don't feel comfortable running it because I they're talking about it. It hits a little close to home right now.
Yeah,
with everything that's going on with that region of the world.
No, exactly. Exactly.
But going back to Mothership, somebody actually made a life path creation module for Mothership, so you can actually roll out and get your stats and everything. It's
that's cool. Yeah, well, Jim, he showed us because there's the Mothership app where it's just like boom, like you can auto generate a character, which is what I did. That's how I got, and it's so quick, and it's just like and it's just you look it over. It's really simple. It's just like I had a clear idea of who they were, like looking at it, and it give you a little art thing, and it's just like off to the races. I love that.
Yeah. That's how we do Morkborg whenever we run it.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a lot of fun, too.
A gauntlet of characters until the main boss is dead. And so I'll usually give them a round off to regenerate their new character, and then we're right back into the fight to see how
that
it's
is always
going.
so funny, because we always start out, every time we played Morkborg, it's like, all right, we've got our creepy, weird characters. We start out whatever little dungeon. A room in, somebody dies. And then we got to come up with a reason somebody else comes running into the dungeon. And by the end of it, there's maybe one of the original people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we did that. I think maybe it was Dungeon Crawl Classics.
Yeah, they have the funnel system.
Yeah,
right?
We did that, and that was very fun because you started out with like 15 characters and like
right. Just go through.
I still want to run that, like actually play that one day.
I want to do the mutant version of it.
What's that one?
I think it's Mutant Crawl Classic.
Oh,
that sounds right.
And then there's also a Western version of it called like Strange Western or something like that.
Oh, cool.
But it's basically Dungeon Crawl Classics in a Western theme, kind of like I think it's more of a Deadlands kind of vibe, if I remember correctly. So,
cool.
But yeah. So, I was gonna say something and I blanked on it. That's not good. That's okay. That's what editing's for, right? So, when you're now that you guys, I mean, obviously, most of the games it sounds like you run now are for the podcast, if not all of them.
All of them.
Is there an approach that you take when you're doing that versus like a home game that you like? Do you treat both of them the same? Because it seems like the vibe that we've gotten through, you running through,
Legacy
of the Ancients seems like the same vibe you had for the home game from like conversations we had from Joe and all of them kind of given in there. But do you approach it differently, or you just try to keep everything the same and just bring the same energy when you're doing them?
I think the platonic ideal, the goal is to run it as close to you would just run a home game as possible. It is different, because just the fact that you're being listened to just changes kind of the way people play, the way you run it. So it's like you want, again, try to like balance those things where it's like, there's an audience that you need to satisfy, but you also, the main thing is just you want to have as much fun as possible.
Very, yeah.
And
absolutely.
Like if you can achieve that, like you'll be successful, like in this. And so that's the main thing. But yeah, I try to run it as close as I would to a home game while doing things like, trying to keep the pace up and, try to make things clear for anyone who's not like looking at our map, as we're playing or whatever. But yeah, that's certainly the goal, is to try to make it feel at least as much like a home game as possible.
Nice. Yeah, I think you guys do a great job with it. I think you have a tough task ahead of you with Sydney, and it seems like Nick could be very much. There's a lot of herding cats between those two. It feels like, and it feels like Matthews just kind of eggs it on. He just kind of pokes it and lets it sit back and watch.
It's really funny to hear a lot of the time.
Yeah, well, I mean, I love especially playing with Nick, because he is someone that I've been playing with for fun for over a decade now, and he doesn't get a chance. Like this is his vacation, is like playing with us. so he really, I think he's just, because of his personality and just the fact that, you know, he doesn't get to do it as often, like he's just like really appreciative, and he's just like brings a lot of energy that we don't normally get, like different kind of energy,
certainly
like
enthusiasm.
Yeah, really infectious enthusiasm, and, you know, different point of view and all that stuff, and he's also just, you know, I mean, he's one of my best friends, so it's like, it's just a treat for me to just be able to keep playing with him, you know, after all these years. I mean, we've known each other for like 25 years now, so
his note-taking skills are just, I'm
wild.
Yes. Like awe.
Yeah, I mean, that's another like huge benefit, is like, actually Sydney takes amazing notes too. Sydney takes great notes.
Oh, does she? Okay.
Yeah, she takes excellent notes. But yeah, Nick is his note taking is non-puerile. That's another huge benefit to having him on the show.
That's definitely something I can work on as a player. My notes are,
I
start off really good, and then about halfway through the session, I'm like, yeah, there's a goblin, I guess, there.
Like when we're playing Pathfinder 2, like in the middle of a fight, I'll really keep notes of like how much damage happens and all that, and then by the time we're done playing, it's just like, we talked to a dwarf.
Yep.
Yeah. No, Tyler is the best non-cleric health tracker I've ever seen. Like, he tracks all the enemy's health, he tracks all the
I
players'
track their
health.
damage, but
Okay,
yeah,
still, like,
if you give me their health right off the bat, I'll keep track of that. Don't worry about that one.
nope. Gotta keep that mystery up.
It does kind of get to a point where I'm like, okay, we've done like 200 damage. This guy's got to be close to dead, right?
Right, yeah. Well, Pathfinder 2e, you never know, man.
That's true.
The math in Pathfinder 2e is wild. Coming from the flip, like, Pathfinder 1 had some pretty wild math too, but Pathfinder 2e, the hits and the ACs are just bonkers.
Yeah, I still don't have an intuitive understanding of the math the way that I do for 1e.
Yeah, right? Like, my idea, what I've gathered is monsters are really powerful, and once you get past, like, 4th level, you can hang and bang, but those first 4 levels are very, very treacherous in Pathfinder 2e from what we've played.
Yeah, pretty much.
But it's a great system. I will give it that. It's someone who joined, I obviously started with 4e. I finally got into Pathfinder and started working my way up there. One of my friends, his wife used to work for Paizo, so that kind of helped get me into the Paizo realm.
Oh, cool.
But, and then kind of, I think I played a little bit of 3.5 after that to see, like, what were the building blocks? What did they take? What was different? So,
yeah, that was weird. I skipped over all that stuff because I had stopped playing at 2e, and then I skipped third 3.5, but I played 4th, and then we played Pathfinder. But I was just like, Pathfinder was just such a breath of fresh air for me because it really felt like spiritually way closer to the game that I grew up playing.
Sure, yeah. Especially coming off of 4e if you played that. Yeah. Like, for me, coming off of 4e to Pathfinder, it's like, oh, this is actually, there's a chat, like, I feel like I can actually hurt players. It's not, they're not just demigods just destroying everything.
Yeah.
Like, no, I can have stakes in these games that aren't you guys killing a dragon that's 4 levels higher than you because you stun locked it and everything.
Right, yeah, exactly.
So, but maybe that's just the people I played with. I don't know.
Probably.
Do you have a preferred kind of system to run? Do you like more rules heavy or rules light now that you're running stuff on the network? Do you have a preference on what you get to pick if you get one?
The thing that I like detail, and I like a certain fidelity to reality as close as like I can get, which is, if you may not be a shock to you, but this has been a source of frustration in many of the games that we have played.
Yes. No.
If there's a rule, I swear to God, like, one of my
Doesn't make any
most
sense.
hated things is if there's a rule that's just in there for balance or whatever, and it doesn't make physical sense. It drives me up the wall. That and a lack of respect for actual real world animals. Those are the two things. It was just like, have you ever seen a bear? Like,
yeah,
it's like,
it will kill you.
Yeah, the bear will kill you.
Yeah.
A tiger. Yeah. It's like, get out of here. Like, and they treat these like real animals like they're like nothing. And it's just like, no, they will fuck you up. So those things. But that's the thing that I really love is detail. But the best possible system for me is one that runs smoothly, but has at least evokes detail and feels naturalistic within the world it's creating. That's
Okay.
basically what I want. And I can have different like some games I really like a lot of rule. Like when we were in Vegas, I was running original Top Secret. Like I've been wanting to play like a spy espionage game for a while, and I played that, and I was just like, oh my god, what did I get myself into? Because I had forgotten really how incredibly dense that rule system is. It's like tables and nested tables and secondary, tertiary skills, like all this stuff. And so but like that has its place. And and I had a great time like running that. I think like doing it for a show, you really just want to keep things moving. So I think denser rule systems I feel aren't as conducive to like making a better show, generally speaking.
That makes sense.
But but I like both. Like as long as the rule system like feels like it has an attachment to reality, like that's or it has or whatever, it has a specific perspective. Like I can appreciate it regardless of the level of like crunch or not.
Yeah,
less.
I have a hard
crunch.
time where everything that I'm doing in a game has to make sense in the world. Like I can't just be like, oh, magic. Like
that's why we play these games and we don't just run around in the park like saying I'm a wizard. That's why we play these games. They provide a framework, limitations.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Like we need that.
Yes. We can't all be cool LARPers.
Exactly.
So
we wish.
We do. There's one up here. There's a couple up here.
Oh yeah, I used to do that in high school.
Did you?
Yeah, a little bit. Not the ones that got really intense where like you got a little tissue or something and you throw a fireball.
Yeah.
But just the ones where you beat each other with swords.
Oh, okay.
You boffed.
I never understood.
I got invited. It was I was worked like my first job out of high school. There was this lady with a dominatrix like pinup girl on her leg, and she invited me out one weekend to go camping with her and her boyfriend / a bunch of other people to go LARP. And she's like, yeah, we just fill like stuff up with birdseed, and that's like our fireball and our lightning bolt. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't know. Like, no, I'm not gonna. I don't know you. Like, I'm not gonna go in the woods with you.
How does that work though? Do you roll dice, or like how do you determine like what happens when you throw? So if you throw birdseed and it hits them, that just they're hit by a fireball and they die, or like what?
I think typically there is a rule book that is behind it, so they'll be like a fireball does 5 points of damage.
So do you have like a referee? Do you have like referees running around?
Okay. Yeah, there are referees. Typically there's. I don't know if you ever watched it, but there's a excellent documentary called Monster Camp. That's about a LARPing group in Seattle, and they go through the LARPing events.
Okay, I've heard of it. I've heard of it.
It's amazing.
Okay,
I need to check that out.
I don't know. I don't know where it's streaming, but it might be on YouTube by now, I'd assume.
Okay,
there we go.
Okay,
called it.
There you go.
I'll watch that.
I do want to
tonight.
say, like, based off kind of your rules light and like heavy, I think it's great
It's on
how
YouTube.
you find a way to
YouTube.
balance out all that stuff. Like especially like Tyler, I know you brought up like this going on with War Nation.
Oh yeah, there's
the
a
Forge Fiend's mouth.
really
That was such a cool idea to take that and just allow it to happen, not have a super huge effect on the fight, but like give him something, right? You're like, yeah, like right.
I want to generate water in its mouth.
Let's give him something. It's a cool idea. It makes sense that might do something beneficial. So it's like, and especially, like Jason, he's a new player. It's just like, and he's really creative, but he doesn't know the system that well. So it's just like,
And it makes sense.
yeah, like I definitely want to reward him for coming up with like a cool idea like that. So yeah, I mean, yeah.
Like I said, yeah, it definitely feeds into that. So, do you have any advice or anything for folks that want to start running games as they kind of like to take over the DMing side of all this? Do you have any advice for them?
I think the thing, I guess the main thing I would say is something I sort of wrestle with is not to over prepare. I think you want to be confident in the situation that you're bringing the characters into, but also willing and available to roll with the punches and swerve when the players take the wheel and they turn a direction you weren't prepared for, you weren't ready for, to be able to roll with it. Because I stress out a lot about prepping. Like, I really want to get everything as down and I really want to get everything as set down in my own mind before we record or before we start playing. And I think you don't necessarily have to. I think it's a way better skill to just be able to improvise and not try not to stress out about it as much as I do. That would be my advice to myself as well as anyone else.
Do you go with like the quantum ogre theory, or are you still just like, nope, if it's there, it's there, otherwise they miss it kind of thing?
I will do that too. I try to be when I'm running like a published adventure or something, I try to be true to that, but as much as I can. But yeah, I will definitely like try to that's the trick, right? It's the illusion of that they're really driving the story when it's just like, well, it's just most of this is just going to play out the same way regardless of what you do. But yeah, that's you could definitely do that too.
Yeah, it's a tough balance of figuring out. Like, I think it's approaching each group differently. Like, okay,
totally.
Like,
yeah,
are these guys, what do they want out of this game? Do they want this to be kind of a gritty, harder, challenging game, or do they just want to go kill some monsters and be happy and rah-rah? And that will kind of dictate how I handle that kind of stuff. But it just depends on the group. Like, that's kind of how it always goes down to, is what your group want and how can you make them happy, and as long as they're happy and you're having fun, because that's the hardest thing for me to start trying to get into, is making sure I'm having fun as a GM and making sure that I'm feeling like I've accomplished something when I'm running the game. Not necessarily like, it's tough.
That's a great point. You have a responsibility to have fun yourself too. I mean, because that'll elevate everyone's good
my
time.
biggest rule right now is I will put in as much effort as the players put into the game. Because with me running 8 games, I'm not going to put them that. So if I'll match their energy and I'll match their level of commitment, and if they're not going to put a whole ton into it, then they're going to get the bare minimum. And if they're sending me, I'm thinking of this for my character, background stuff, then all right, here's what we can plan out. And that's really helped me kind of get in that better mindset of not feeling like I'm letting other people down. It's like, no, man, like I want to have fun in this too. And if you're not going to commit to this, I'm not going to. I've got too much time on my hands. I've got other stuff I want to buy.
Yeah.
Do you have a recommended setting or module that you think would be good for new players coming into the?
I was specifically thinking, just kind of to pivot back to Traveler, just really quick, just because we're kind of just getting into it. Is there like a setting or module that you would recommend for newer players, or maybe just one that you really love that you think everybody should check out?
Honestly, I think Galarian is a great place to start, because it really is an arena that has basically any kind of medieval fantasy genre or flavor of story that you want to engage with. Like, there is a place for it somewhere in Galarian. And I think it's a great place to start. As far as like mods, I don't know a lot of like modules anymore. Like singular adventures. I think, I don't know. I mean, Rune Lords, it's a big commitment, but that was a great place for me to start with. I mean, that was the first thing that I really did with when I started playing Pathfinder, and that's
the first thing they did.
Yeah. So, that's great. As far as like, more bite-sized stuff, I'm not really sure, but Galarian's great. And I think it also depends like what the players are into. If they like Lord of the Rings, they can play One Ring. There's now, as opposed to like when I was a kid, when we were kids, there are just
tons,
way more options if there's something you
Well, I feel like every day I'm seeing some new like backer kit or something for a new RPG. There's a new Kickstarter. There's a new. It's all over the place.
And I'm trying to read them all.
Oh yeah, and it's great.
Well, and then plenty of people just publishing stuff for free.
Yeah. It's a cool time to be in the hobby, and it's awesome to have seen the hobby grow. Like obviously, like this with you guys, Critical Role, all these other big podcasts taking off and getting a lot more people into the hobby. It's just cool to see. It's awesome to see that there's a plethora of options out there for if you don't want to play fifth edition. You got Pathfinder 2e, you've got 13th Age, you've got Daggerheart that just came out or whatever it is. There's so many. It's awesome to see we have these options now.
Totally.
Is there been a favorite game that you've run on the network so far, or that you've been on?
I think it might be the Marvel RPG. I think that it might be. Yeah.
Wow.
Really?
Okay.
Wow. I have not checked that one out yet. That's one of the few shows I haven't watched.
Yeah. We've
That's
done
on
a couple,
YouTube, right?
Well, we've done a couple different on YouTube. We've also done it we did it at New York Comic Con. We did it at San Diego Comic Con. And actually, it sucks because one of those shows that we did at San Diego Comic Con was incredibly good. Like, I thought it was a great group. It was a fantastic show. But as happens so often at conventions, when you're trying to record something, the audio didn't come out, and it was sort of lost. It's really too bad.
No,
because I got to play like my character that I grew up my X-Man that I came up with when I was 12. I got to play him. And,
that's so awesome.
And it was a great intro. It's like, and
that's incredible.
Yeah,
that's such a great feeling.
It was awesome, and so that was great. But that is a really I love superhero role playing. It is some of the most purely fun genre for me, I think, and it's a great system. I think the Forbex and CJ Cervantes and everybody who worked on it, they did Amir a great job putting this game together. The system, because it is also, I think, one of the hardest things to get right is a superhero RPG, and they really did it. I think it is just so fun. So it's that. Also, the other one that I really had a really great time with is a Fiasco.
Oh yeah,
great game.
I really want to run that.
Yeah,
which one was that?
It's up there.
Which one's Fiasco?
It's a heist, but it takes place after the heist, and it's like this. The rounds are based around how you get away and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, that's
the implications.
Right. Okay, yeah.
It's it's one of those. It's a Coen Brothers movie RPG.
Yeah,
that's a great elevator pitch.
Yeah, and it's great. And we had a particularly good. Actually, that was Joe, Troy, and I played in a game with the developers at PAX East in 2012 or something. And it was, I've never laughed so hard in my life. It was the funniest thing. And then we did a show of it on the network as well. And that was a great group.
I think that's for Gen Con, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. And but it's a really, really cool system. I really like it a lot.
Yeah, it seems really cool. It's kind of one of those weirder ones like Dread, where you're like, how does this work? And then when you start playing, you're like, oh, this is dope. I'm loving this.
Yeah,
so
totally.
If you haven't played Dread, Tyler, you should play Dread.
I have not even heard of it.
It's an RPG with a Jenga tower.
Oh wait, I have heard of this. You did
so
tell
every
me
time
about
you
this
have
one.
to do something in the game, you pull a Jenga tower, piece off the Jenga tower, and if it falls over, your character dies. Essentially.
I do kind of like those kind of more conceptual ones. Mm-hmm. What was the one you were telling me about? I believe you said you played it a couple years ago for your birthday, but where there's 5 candles.
10 candles.
Oh, 10 candles.
I want to run 10 candles. I want to run it, but we were supposed to do it in a graveyard. We were going to do Halloween night in a graveyard, but it didn't end up working out. So.
Okay. But, that one sounded really cool.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So, is there a dream system that you could play or run that hasn't been done on the network so far? If you could pick one system you guys haven't done on the network so far to play or run in, what would you do?
As far as systems, I don't know, but I still, 2 things I really want to be able to do. I would love to be able to do at some point. I still want to do a sort of gritty, boring John le Carre espionage game. I still want to do that. I don't know if there's a good
Gritty
system.
and boring, huh?
Yeah, like I really want to do a Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy type,
That'd be tough.
spy game. I really want to do that. And I also would love to do an Old West, and not even Weird West I could do, but I really just like actual historical Old West. I'd love to do that too.
A more grounded.
More grounded, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the old one's what, Boot
Hill.
Boot Camp?
Boot Hill.
Boot Hill, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been a couple that have come out in the past like 5 or 6 years that are okay. Most of them tend towards that weird.
Yeah,
West
they're mostly
kind of,
weird, which is fine. I would do
aspect.
that too.
Yeah.
And we actually did do a show of that I wasn't able to participate in, that Jared ran. They did think they did Savage Worlds. I think they were doing.
I think they did Deadlands or something like that.
Yeah,
I think
Deadlands.
that would be it. Yeah.
I do that too. But yeah, I just love those are two genres that I really like that I have yet to be able to sort of play around in. So that would be my yeah.
Yeah, no, I will definitely say Down Darker Trails is obviously the horror themed, more Weird West, but it's a very cool system, especially with the chassis of Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah, I do like how they do edit some of the skills, add in a couple new ones to kind of mix it up a little bit. It's a cool system.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I think there's like something like your character, they have to have a certain score to be even literate.
Yeah,
in the
you
game.
have to have a certain
Okay, I like
intelligence or
that.
something
I
to be
always
literate.
like stuff like that.
There's a certain education, I think.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, it makes sense.
Luckily, I rolled enough that I can read.
Yeah. Oh, actually, that reminds me of another. I didn't mention it, but another great system that we played is a Pendragon, which is a similar kind of thing. It's just like with the literacy is rare, and but that's a great system too.
Oh, well, I appreciate your time, Skid. It's been a lot of fun talking with you, and it's I don't know. It's an honor, really. I appreciate you taking the time.
It's very much an honor.
Well, thank you, guys. I really appreciate the invite, and anytime. I really enjoyed talking to you.
You guys have been a huge influence on us to wanting to do this.
Oh, great.
And actually do it right. Like get the good audio quality that you guys have, and have the camaraderie and
not just record on our phones.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly, yeah.
That was the true technological leap. Was when people just stopped putting an iPhone in the middle of the table and record. Yes,
sounds way better with microphones.
It does.
Who knew?
Turns out.
Yeah, right. People have been recording bands for years.
Yeah.
So we should listen to them. But I usually ask people this question at the end because we listen. We talk a lot about music on the podcast, or mainly I do. Because I listen to a lot of random stuff.
Mainly you and Jake.
Yeah, it's true.
Hardcore band names nobody else has ever heard of.
Death metal. Thank you. They're death metal. They're not hardcore.
Okay.
Well, actually, I just went and saw Wu-Tang Clan around the Jewels. So you know
yeah,
that.
that's true. I do know them.
Yeah. That was great.
Up from the
GZA came out and did some Liquid
chambers.
Swords. Yeah, they played like half of that album. It was fantastic.
Fuck yeah, dude.
And then Raekwon and Ghostface came out and did some Cuban Link songs. And then GZA came and did Liquid Swords. It was phenomenal.
That's awesome.
It was cool.
Yeah, I love
thought it was just
Wu-Tang.
gonna be them.
Staten Island's own.
Yeah.
The way someone described Wu-Tang, it was just like they are 100% dyed-in-the-wool nerds who will absolutely murder you.
Oh, absolutely.
And I was just like, there we go. They're talking about elevator pitch. That's it for me.
But yeah, so we'll end the podcast here with what are some music acts or bands or people that you've been listening to recently that you would recommend people check out?
Oh, man. Well, I'm in my 50s, so my musical taste ossified about 40 years ago. But I usually like, I love like East Coast hip hop. I'm listening to a lot of like Public Enemy and like Diggable Planets and Digital Underground and Tribe, and I was a big Beastie Boys fan, and I love metal. I love the Sword. I love
oh, they're so good.
Yeah, Sword is
so
great.
Good.
I saw them at Union Square, whatever that venue is. Yeah, they're awesome.
They broke up, right?
Did they break up?
They were on hiatus or something like that. I thought they weren't making music anymore.
That's too
but
bad.
maybe they are. I don't know.
Yeah,
I could be wrong.
I love a cool a high concept album, and they're what was it, the Warp Riders? Like that's such a that's great.
Oh, it's
so great. I love that. So yeah, I love basically hip hop and metal. That's mostly Mostly
Okay.
nothing.
I would say East Coast wise, if you haven't checked him out, check out R.A. the Rugged Man. He's kind of aligned with Ghostface Killer in them,
Okay.
and it's really good stuff. Like it has that genuine East Coast feel.
Okay, cool.
It's probably a bit like it's up there. I don't know if you've listened to like Czarface and stuff like that, but he's associated with them
Okay.
and whatnot. But yeah,
Cool.
So cool. Well, there we go. Well, thank you again for taking the time and doing this with us. It's been a huge honor on our part, as
Yes,
I said, probably
thank
3
you.
times. Because I'm just nervous as all hell talking
Well, no.
to you. So,
Look how I feel.
but yeah, thanks again, and we'll chat with you later, sir.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.